U.S. citizen, you can
فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع، فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه، إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع، وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي، وإلى موائد جود مولاك هرعي. وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع، فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه، إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع، وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع، فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي، إن العطاء إمداده متنوعون، إن العطاء إمداده متنوعون، يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع. وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا، وكم في الركب من متضلعين، حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا، وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع، أصل الجود من ذا المنبع. يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر، قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي. يا رب يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا. حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي. يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي. وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي. وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع. فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه. إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع. وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس.
3, 2, 1. And we are live. Alright guys, welcome back to the live stream. I'm shining like a light bulb yet again. I fixed my green screen. I fixed my lighting, kind of. I mean, it's here, it's bright, but it's a bit too bright. I'm looking like a snowman. I'm looking a couple of shades whiter than I'm actually in real life. But be that as it may, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I see we have the moderators online as well. And the members too. Thank you very much for tuning in. Fantastic. Guys, we made it. Another week, another consecutive week of live streaming. I'm very proud of myself. That being said, today, as always, we're going to do Q&As. We're going to do essentially a live hangout. And moreover, if you want me to react live to any YouTube videos, X posts, articles, or whatnot, please let me know and send it in the chat. And inshallah, we will respond to them, react to them. That being said, the best way to do so, of course, is via Super Chat. You still can use the Streamlabs link, but I prefer the Super Chat at the moment, even though, yes, YouTube is taking a cut of those Super Chats. I still prefer it because Streamlabs only runs via PayPal, and PayPal has a big issue with me, apparently. Long story. Be that as it may. So if you want to support the channel via Super Chat is the best way for now. Inshallah, we will figure out something else as well in the near future. And like that, you can send your question or send a video, article, etc. recommendation, and then we can react to it. And people keep saying, why don't you do an intro where you say Salamu Alaikum? See, the reality is, completely honest here, this is my slogan basically, the alright guys. And this is how I've been running my YouTube channel for 8 years now. So I'm not planning on changing that intro. And moreover, might sound like an excuse, but moreover, it's not only Muslims watching my channel. Of course, to be completely honest here, the majority obviously is Muslim, but nevertheless, it's not only Muslims. And so therefore, especially for undercover dawah purposes, if you will, I'm addressing everybody on a neutral internet ground. And my Muslim brothers and sisters, of course, with Salamu Alaikum. But nevertheless, because those videos are out in the open for everybody, I still keep it neutral and I keep the alright guys. Anyways, Widlix, good to see you, bro. Thank you very much for moderating. So if you have any crazy evangelicals coming into the stream, into the chat again, you can deal with them. But be kind, as I always say. I actually like the engagement and I do like the interactions. It is fun to an extent until it's not anymore. So if it becomes too repetitive, or even amongst us here, spammers are set on timeout. Absolutely. I can't stand it. I said it in the last live stream as well. If you have a question, the burning desire, your question to be answered, simply send a super chat for as little as $1. At least I will see it then. You're not disturbing the chat. You're supporting the channel. And I will respond to you. Absolutely no worries. But just spamming the chat and sending the same message 200 times, I'm not going to respond. Quite the opposite. You're going to be timed out, kicked from the server, at least for a while. Don't take it personal, but I don't like spammers. Okay. Be that as it may. Widlix says, help Brother Bobby reach 400 likes. Yeah, shouldn't be too hard, guys. Listen to Widlix. It's actually quite easy. I know some people are watching it on the TV. On the TV, I don't know if you can actually thumbs up it, the video. But if you're watching it on the phone, here like this. Can you see this? Like this, yes. I can't really see it because of the green screen. Anyways, you have to minimize the chat real quick. And then you see the thumbs up button. And then you can click it. It's for free. It doesn't cost anything. But it helps with the algorithm. Guys, we are shadow banned. So it's quite the miracle that we are still on YouTube to begin with. But we are still shadow banned. YouTube is demonetizing, etc., you name it. They, of course, don't want you to talk about certain subjects. I mean, they don't really want you to talk about Islam in an open fashion either. But what I noticed, when you talk about a broad subject of different fields that they don't want you to talk about, and you bring it all together, this is when they really start shadow banning you. So if you're just speaking about nutrition, they don't really like you to speak about proper nutrition, but well, okay, they're going to tolerate it somehow. If you're just speaking about religion and you stay in your little niche, they're going to tolerate it somehow as well. If you're speaking about politics, now it's really, really tough. But if you just speak about a certain aspect of politics and that's all you talk about, they might tolerate you as well. But if you intermix those things, then you are banned. And if you look at people that have been banned from YouTube, you will see that this is the pattern. They talked about a wide variety of subjects and spread truth in all of those subjects. And that's when they got you and they're going to kick you. So that's why we have to be super careful here on YouTube. But anyways, therefore, if you can support other ways, simply thumbs up, comment, that helps the algorithm. Okay. Now, let me check. PayPal. Yeah, PayPal banned me from 3 accounts. It's quite amazing. Even though I gave them evidence, clear proof that I'm streaming, that I'm a YouTuber, they just banned me. They didn't want me on their platform. strange. Yo, Bobby, what are your plans for your collab with Grayson? I hope you can help guide him, inshallah. I'm gonna collab with Grayson? That must be a rumor. Is that true? Guidance is to Allah alone. Okay, so no matter who I talk with, I have absolutely, really believe me, I mean this, I have absolutely no motivation whatsoever to convince anybody of anything. Genuinely. Because if you convince somebody with good arguments, right, they might not be ready internally, no matter what the subject is. And then a few weeks, months, maybe years later, they're going to drop out of that specific thing and they're going to blame you. They're going to blame you. You're going to be accountable for everything that went wrong in their life, allegedly, right? So therefore, I'm really not in the business of convincing anybody of anything. I really mean this. I have no agenda here whatsoever. For example, you see, let's say, vegan channels, right? This is where I came from initially. And those people truly have the agenda to spread the good word of veganism in order to make people vegan and to reach this vegan utopia, this vegan planet, right? Never gonna happen, but they want it, of course. And therefore, they are really obsessed with making people vegan. If you exit their cult, then they hate you, of course, and you're the biggest enemy, the enemy of the animals. But that being said, they truly want to recruit people. The same goes for the Rainbow Crew, etc., you name it. Those are not organic movements. They have to recruit in both instances, right? People are not born as vegans, and neither are they born as the rest. Anyways, again, they have to recruit people. And you could say, oh, well, Christianity, Islam, those are evangelical religions as well. We're giving dawah, etc., you name it. I know that this is part of the game. I get it. But it's not me. This is not how I operate. So I chose Islam. Alhamdulillah, ultimately, again, Allah chose me to accept Islam. Thank God. But that being said, I see it as a very, very personal journey that I had to go through. In my 20s, I surely wasn't ready. And I had to do all the research that I could do in order to come to this rational, logical conclusion. And now I can defend this position as well. But I'm not so interested in defending the position in front of anybody else. I am most importantly concerned with defending this position in front of myself. So that means every morning I have to wake up, look in the mirror, and be happy with my choices, with my decisions. So that is what counts. The only thing that is important is that you are congruent with your life choices. That's how I see it. Right? And therefore, long rant short, I have absolutely zero interest in persuading people into anything. Even Islam. I really don't want to. If Allah chose them truly, then they will accept Islam either way, right? So therefore, many people that are looking into Islam, sure, I might talk with them, but my whole purpose is truly to simply talk with them. That's it. Just for the sake of talking, to see where they're at, to see if there are any parallels in the journey, and moreover, to give a platform to this somewhat new phenomena, if you will, at least online, a new phenomena, of Western people, white Westerners, being interested in Islam, right? If they revert, if they're going to accept or not, hey, that is their win or their loss. I really don't care. But to expose this format to a broad audience, this is what is important, right? And through that, people will start researching themselves. And I really believe that you have to do the research yourself, because otherwise, as I said, somebody will convince you of something, maybe, and then after that, you might drop out. We don't really have proper numbers of reverts that then exit Islam, but I heard certain claims that actually, allegedly, let's say 50% that accepted Islam leave Islam again, right? Because of not enough understanding, or be it whatever. right? So therefore, I'm really not interested in rushing anybody into anything, especially because I myself took 2 years to accept Islam. It took me 2 years. And alhamdulillah for that, truly, because I really needed the time. Yeah, so anyways, that is me. If anybody will come on the stream to talk, I'm really not here to give dawah in that sense at all. I'm here to share my story, my perspective. They will share their story. If they have any questions, I will give them the answers that I have. And again, I'm not here to give rulings or anything on those lines. I'm not an Islamic scholar, so if they really want Islamic knowledge, they should go to a sheikh, not to me. The only thing I can do is tell them about myself and how I accepted Islam. That's it. Okay. 1 second. Let me just open up the dashboard as well. Dashboard. This is where all the super chats go. As I said in the beginning, guys, if you want to support the channel, super chat, this little dollar logo, I think, in the chat box. You can send as little as $1 to support my work. Merci beaucoup. Appreciate it. Shukran. Shukran, shukran. Okay. Now, 1 second. Dashboard. Here we are. And now let me drink some coconut water. Here we go. Fresh coconut water from Thailand. Absolutely fantastic. Not pasteurized. If you're in Thailand and you go to the supermarket or the 7-Eleven or whatnot, you get pasteurized coconut water. And this is not what I recommend, because pasteurized coconut water kills all the beneficial enzymes. Not good. So this is what we do. We buy fresh coconut water from fresh coconuts filled in this beautiful bottle. Okay, here we go. Recent events. Okay, let me keep my dashboard open. Okay, fantastic. Desktop audio is on as well. Good. Health, exactly. Hashtag health. To good health. Bismillah. And taste phenomenal. Honestly, pasteurized coconut water doesn't taste good. There's only one, I don't know the brand, but there's only one pasteurized coconut water that actually tastes good. And I think they used flash pasteurization. The rest tastes disgusting. Not nice at all. Okay, anyhow, let me jump into the chat. Bobby, what do you think of the Ahmadiyya community? Honestly, I haven't researched enough. I really haven't. So therefore, I'm not going to say anything about it. Genuinely, I have no clue. From what I heard, of course I cannot stop myself, I always have to say something. But from what I heard is that they have maybe not a prophet per se, but another messenger or something like that after the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So something like that. And he's Ahmad, I believe, and then Ahmadiyya. I could be completely off, but this is what I gathered. I haven't looked into it. Okay, wait a second. The chat is lagging here on my end. Let me refresh. 1 second. Yeah, but when it comes down to any sectarianism, I mean, even with Ahmadiyya, right? Without knowing anything about it, right? I'm not judging it. I'm simply talking from my ignorance. But the name already, Ahmadiyya, is based upon a specific Ahmad, I assume. And therefore we have a human again, right? Islam, despite certain German movements back in the day naming it as such, is not Muhammadanism. Yeah? It's not Jesus Christianity. It is not Buddhism. Right? It's Islam, the submission to God. So what else can you want? Right? So every time I see a name infused, I already know, okay, now we're deviating again from pure monotheism. That's simply how I see it. It's too easy to recognize. Coming from a Christian background, honestly. We talked about Shiism as well. And again, I have love for pretty much everybody out there, honestly, I really mean this, and everybody that is pursuing Tawheed is of course a friend of mine in some way. However, when I see this Ali worship and this self-mutilation where people hit themselves over and over again and get into like a trance type of state, it looks like a rave. I don't understand how anybody outside from Islam would convert to this. I really don't get it. Because you must have seen it to some extent already in your religion. Right? Hinduism has such practices, obviously. Buddhism to an extent. Right? And then in Christianity, you do as well. And so I simply don't understand, coming from a religion that has some human or deity worship in it, how you then can go to another religion that has again some human and deity worship in it. And with deity, I'm speaking about not God as the deity. I'm speaking about certain deities, right? Lesser. So I simply don't get it. For me, Islam was so appealing because it finally, fully explained who Allah is and who He's not. Right? It clearly explained through the methodology of shirk who God is and who He is not. He's nothing like His creation. Right? And so all the other religions have an aspect of God being like the creation. All of the other religions. All of them. So I simply don't understand how anybody can come to the conclusion, okay, now this religion must be the truth. Outside from Islam, I really don't get it. Anyways. 1 second. There we go. Okay, now the chat is on again. Medab versus Sean. Oh, really tough, man. Really tough. I haven't observed Medab nor Sean lately too closely in order to have a proper prediction. But okay, after seeing Sean fighting with, what's his name again? The Russian guy. What's his name? I have to Google it. I forgot his name. I'm completely out of the loop. 1 second. O'Malley versus Peter Yan. Exactly. Versus Peter Yan. And of course, some people will say Peter Yan won, whatever. After seeing him fight against him, I could see him make it versus Medab as well. He might win. Yeah, that's my prediction. Will it be a KO? Certainly not. I think it's going to be a decision. And if I would have to bet on it, I would say he will take it. Sean O'Malley. I might be wrong, but that's how I see it at the moment. The YouTube algorithm goes crazy after hearing UFC talk here. Ah, that's a good strategy. It's not bad at all. So Islam Makhachev, Sean Strickland, Khabib, Conor McGregor. Now the algorithm will pump out the stream to the mainstream. Let's go. Thank you very much, Widlix, for the ongoing support here. People like the stream, honestly. Work on it. Like the stream. And inshallah, we will get out of this algorithm jail. That'd be great. You're wrong. Shia Islam's origin is based on pure Tawheed. Listen, I read into the concept of Tawheed in Shiism. Very loud here. In Shiism. And the concept in and of itself, I absolutely agree with on paper. However, the practices that I see in the religion that are based upon a political conflict, I personally would never be able to accept. And I'm telling you this, even if, I personally don't buy it, but even if the Shia position is 100% correct when it comes down to the political divide, let's assume, right? And I really have no dog in that fight. Generally, I don't mind because it doesn't define my religion. So let's say, for the sake of the argument, the Shia position is 100% accurate when it comes down to the political divide and who should have been the right caliph, etc., right? Okay, let's assume they're right. Why then have a ritual where you punish yourself, where you're hitting yourself and you're chanting Ali, 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 right? It looks pretty epic, I have to say, coming from a rave background 10 years ago when I was young. But that being said, it's not part of the deen. It's not part of the religion itself. It's not part of Islam, right? Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did not practice that. And therefore, why would I? So even if, again, I'm completely open, let's say the political divide, the Shias are 100% correct. Let's assume. Why would I then put in such practices into the religion? You understand? And I know you're saying right now, it's not punishment, it's honoring. Okay, you're hitting yourself, man. Okay? So I don't want to partake in that. Even if you, listen, I'm giving you 100% benefit of the doubt on everything today. Politically, the Shia position is correct, let's say. And moreover, you're not hitting yourself, you're honoring yourself, and actually you're just caressing yourself. You're doing something nice to yourself, you're putting on balm, right? Coconut oil, something nice. Yet again, it wouldn't be part of the initial religion during the time of the Prophet. Do you see what I'm saying? So why would I do it? It doesn't make any sense. So this is then an innovation at best, right? And yeah, many other things at worst. But anyways, you see what I'm saying? Even if we take all the positive scenarios that we can think of, at the very least, it would be an innovation then. And I don't understand why I would partake in that. Simple as that. So for example, here in Thailand, there are different mosques, but in many of them, in many masjids, what they do is after they finished Jummah prayer, they start chanting in a sheet, basically. All together. They start chanting in a sheet. And I'm not too sure, but to me it seems like an innovation. So I personally don't partake in that either when they do that. Right? There's no real harm in that, if you will, but it seems like innovation to me, and I simply don't partake. I do my prayer, and then I leave. You see? Anyways, that's where I already draw the line. Now you're telling me I have to go on the street in a big group and hit myself until I bleed. And that is honoring, and that is not punishment. Okay, fine. Why would I do it? Did anybody do that? Did Ali do that even? Right? I simply don't see it. That's all. Honestly, I'm really gracious here, I would say. Just on the basis of nothing else, just on the basis of innovation in that regard, I would never partake. We can completely forget about it. Okay. Mainstream Shias do not do that at all. So, okay, please. I'm never coming from a place of arrogance. I really mean this. It took a lot of humility to accept Islam, coming from a background where I already told you a billion times, my whole family is against Islam, the Balkan is against Islam, etc., etc., you name it, right? So, when it comes down to Shiism, I've seen people hit themselves until they bleed, and okay, I would understand that is the most extreme, but at the very least, and I think everybody will admit that, the very least they are doing this, right? Tapping their chest. Isn't that true? That is true, right? That is something that mainstream Shias do as well, right? Tap yourself. No? Anyways, even that, there's no harm done. It's just a tap on the chest and we're all getting together and tapping. It's an innovation. Clearly, that wasn't going on during the time of the Prophet. No chance. Right? So why would I partake? Yeah. as the chat says here as well, of course, aside from that, cursing the Sahaba, which doesn't make any sense to me. Hey Bobby, are you angestellt oder selbstständig? Ja, Alhamdulillah, ich bin selbstständig, Bruder. Geil. Okay, we had a super chat. Actually, yes. One super chat by One True Purpose. Thank you very much. And it's just a sticker attached, I think. No question. Thank you very much. Guys, as I always say, if you support the channel via super chats, attach a question, attach a video that you want me to react to or something like that, and we can get right to it. Merci. Saying, Ya Ali, this can't be Tawheed. Yet again, if you look into the description of Tawheed on paper within the theology of Shiism, it is Tawheed, for sure. But this is not where Ya Ali is mentioned, all right? But they're doing it. Yeah, I mean, I could show you a billion videos, honestly, of Shias hitting themselves, very young children as well hitting themselves until they bleed. So 100%. I think it is relatively common. But again, I accept that it's not the mainstream. Maybe it's another extreme. But the tapping on the chest, the very least. The very least. Cursing Aisha too. Exactly. Shia's Bukhari is Al-Kafi. It says 9/10 of their religion is Taqiyya. Yeah, I don't know about that. Anyways. Again, I'm really not here for division or anything on those lines. May Allah guide us all. And that's how I see it. Simply, as I said many, many times before, I am sharing my perspective. And you have to understand, coming from a Christian perspective, where you have saints, people are praying to saints, they're asking saints to pray to God, right? They have Jesus that they, of course, see as God. Therefore, hey, we're not polytheists because we are praying to Jesus, who is God. Okay, I've seen religions with so many loopholes, and I get fed up with that, right? For me, reading the Quran especially, seeing this pure Tawheed, seeing this pure monotheism, I cannot settle for anything less, right? And therefore, I don't have any tolerance when it comes down to innovations, ultimately. I don't enjoy that much. I simply like to keep it to the basics, pure as much as possible, right? Not deviate there. The Shia Adhan is also an innovation. Yeah, I never heard the Shia Adhan, to be totally honest, but I heard that it's an innovation. Actually, let's do that. Come on. Let's check it out. Let's listen to a Shia Adhan. I hope I can find one on YouTube. Shia Adhan. Okay, let me see. Shia Adhan, 18 years ago, 2 million clicks. Okay, so I assume that must be real. As a matter of fact, I clicked on one Shia Adhan before, so I have listened to it. I just can't remember. Okay, let's listen to this one, inshallah, and see what it says. Uno momento, por favor. Señoras y señoritas. 1 second, browser. Okay, here we go. Shia Adhan. Okay, here we go. Fantastico. Bro, are you vegan? No, I'm anti-vegan. I'm the opposite, but I used to be vegan. I was vegan for 4 years straight, believe it or not. So alhamdulillah, I'm not vegan. Okay, I hope we're not going to get copyright striked for a Shia Adhan. But I think we shouldn't, right? Let's see. I'm gonna stop it in between, so inshallah nothing happens. Wait, before I play it, guys, do you know if a Shia Adhan is copyrighted? Let me see in the chat. What do you guys think? Will it be copyrighted, a Shia Adhan? Because I really don't want to, get this channel flagged again or this video taken down because of an Adhan. You never know. Jackson Lamb says, you're pretending as if Shia is a monolith. No, I'm not. I just said it. Listen to me, people! But it is a heterogeneous group of different people with different uses. Yeah, duh. I just said that. I said that surely there will be some extremes that make themselves bleed and others don't. I said, however, that the mainstream, the majority of Shiism is tapping themselves, right? That's what they do. And this is an innovation. Just that thing alone. And that would be already enough for me to say, okay, I'm not going to do that. As I said already, I'm here in Thailand, in a Sunni mosque, for example, and they're doing a certain nasheed after they finished Jummah prayer. And I'm not partaking in that either. Right? Get it? So, anyways, no, I'm not saying that all Shias do everything exactly the same. That's not the case within Sunnism either. That's not the case within any religion. Wow, big surprise. Okay, anyways, anybody helping out here? Okay, nobody says anything. We're gonna try it out. So guys, in case we're gonna get demonetized again, support the channel via Super Chat. Help a brother out here. And I'm gonna play the Shia Adhan to see the difference, objectively. That's not the Shia Adhan. Up until now, pretty much the same.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar.
Okay.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah.
Still the same.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
Nothing surprising so far.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن عليا ولي الله.
There we go.
أشهد أن عليا حجة الله.
Okay, so we're gonna stop it right here because, as I said, I don't want to get copyright striked, etc. But that being said, there we have it, right? So we know that this is not how Bilal recited the Adhan. That's factual. And we know that during the lifetime of the Prophet, nobody said this about Ali. Right? It's just what it is. So why do it? There will be another innovation, again, at best. Anyhow. Yep. Anyhow. Again, I have nothing against you guys on a personal level. We all pray, of course, for guidance. Simple as that. But, yeah. This is definitely an addition, right? For example, the Sunnis, they're not adding their caliphs into the Adhan, right? There's no Abu Bakr or anything in the Adhan. So why add it? I don't understand. But again, I'm completely open to critique of my viewpoint here. I haven't done enough research on Shiism to simply say, okay, this is it now. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Honestly, I'm absolutely open to it because I was totally wrong when it comes down to Islam. So there you go. I'm here to learn. Thank you, everybody. Okay. Anyways, I just saw somebody's asking if I am a Unitarian Christian or if I'm Muslim. Alhamdulillah, I am a Muslim. I was a Unitarian Christian, if you will, for a very, very short time. So essentially, it was like this. Very, very short now. I was an Orthodox Christian and I tried to make sense of my own faith. I had a faith crisis and I simply couldn't accept the Trinity. I tried to. I made myself believe it. But ultimately, I came to the conclusion that it's not defendable, not only logically, which it's not, but however, it wasn't defendable from a revelation standpoint. Because the Orthodox said, hey, listen, it is a mystery after all, but it is revelation. It is wahi, ultimately, and therefore we have to accept it. I would say, cool, that would make sense if I would have proof of that revelation. But the only thing we have is the Bible and the Church Fathers, and the Bible itself is not only revelation, but history and poems, etc. So therefore, there was no clear revelation from God, such as, let's say, the Ten Commandments, which are supposed to be revelation from God. But certain pieces, bits and bytes here and there sprinkled throughout the Bible, and then you have a bunch of church fathers allegedly led by the Holy Spirit that then come to the conclusion, yes, it is a Trinity. Okay, I cannot accept that. From any viewpoint, it does not make sense. And therefore, I became a Unitarian Christian, if you will. But it was a very diffuse kind of state, because I said there was only one God, right, even back then. And Jesus was still the Son of God. But then God sent his Son to die for our sins. So then this whole crucifixion subject came back into my life, and it simply didn't add up either. Because why would God create Adam and Eve that then fall into eternal, original sin? And that spreads throughout all the generations, and everybody is a sinner forever, and there is no salvation for us other than God sending his Son to die for us. Right, so I was a Unitarian Christian for a few months before I said, okay, this doesn't make sense either. So where am I now? And that's when I became a monotheist, if you will, because I'm certain that God exists. I know that God exists based upon my personal spiritual experience. This is not me again preaching now and, hey, listen, guys, I have the proof, I have the evidence. No at all. But for me personally, I had all kinds of meditative, psychedelic, spiritual experiences throughout my lifetime, and I experienced the unity of God beyond any shadow of a doubt. For me personally, again, I know that God exists, 100%. Even if there was no religious book anywhere, I would know 100% that God exists. I know it. And that's why when people say, we have certain days of stronger and weaker Iman, yeah, sure, in terms of practicing, but not in terms of faith itself, understanding that there is God. I simply know. I know it for a fact. Anyways, that being said, I became a monotheist, if you will, and I couldn't really see myself as a Christian any longer. And I went back to the Balkan, I went to the churches again, tried to make myself believe it, but then I started seeing the icons everywhere, and it was just shirk everywhere, left and right. I couldn't see it anymore. And so, yeah, Christianity was destroyed in my mind. I didn't believe it any longer. Monotheism was clear to me, but what now? Where is the true guidance of God? What is the role of God here in this world? And this is when I stumbled across the Quran, and everything made perfect sense. I was reading the Quran, and basically it was like looking into a mirror, because this is what I believed. Yeah. And this is why I became a Muslim, alhamdulillah, now in a nutshell. Anyways, we have many super chats. Super chat. Thank you very much. everybody. Let me give you an applause as well. 1 second here. Thank you. Ooh, somebody has been banned for 2 days straight. You go to jail. Okay, let's see. We have a super chat by Humayt El Felasi. Thank you so much, brother. This is Dubai. This is the Emirates. Thank you very much, bro. 100 dirham. Appreciate it a lot. Says Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam, brother. Thank you very much for your ongoing support. And I already see my brother Abdullah Alk, $15. Thank you so much, brother. He says, Salam, Bobby. Assalam. First of all, no ghee is better than ghee. Come on, man. You're just bitter, bro. Come on. I told you next time, no ghee. I'm willing to get my ass kicked. Secondly, this is a link to a video explaining what the word Shia means and the main issue with current day Shiism. Bro, unfortunately, there is no link. Can you send it to me via other means? You know what I mean? You have my number. So just shoot me the video like this and I will open it up here and we're going to watch it together, inshallah. Because it's not attached to the super chat. Thank you very much for the support. And that being said, off the top of my head, I think Shia means sect, right? Or group of, so Shia Ali or something like that. If I'm not completely mistaken yet again, it's the group that is following Ali. So that's how I understand the description of Shia. I might be wrong yet again. But anyways, Abdullah, send me the link via WhatsApp. Thank you very much. King Musa donated $20. Thank you very much, King Musa. That's a big donation. Says, time and again, Shaitan has come to people with deviance in religion. He makes them take extremes in religion, and many accept some truths but disbelieve in others. Every deviant path leads to hell. See, this is a very congruent and strict way of putting it. For me, it's simple, you know. After reading the Quran, I understood the essence of Islam, if you will. I got it. And it's basically manifested in Surah Ikhlas. Honestly, you don't need much more to really understand Islam. And anything else is then edit again over time. And I simply don't want to partake in it. Very, very simple. Okay, we have another super chat by King Musa, $5. Thank you very much, bro. He says the crazy thing is Jesus taught, seek and you shall find. Yes. Tabarakallah for the one he has guided who seeks the truth. Yeah, absolutely, man. But of course, people cannot really, or let's say Christians cannot really see it that way. Jesus said, as you absolutely quoted correctly here, seek and ye shall find. Right, this is the old English. But when they hear that, they simply believe, okay, that means Christianity. That's it. And this is how I understood it back then as well. Because you simply read the Bible, there is the wording, seek and ye shall find. So therefore, okay, I found the Bible, and with that I found Christianity. That's the thought pattern there. So nobody then thinks, wait a second, could it be that there is a passage in the Bible that actually leads me to the Quran, that then actually leads me to Islam? So people don't make that connection right away. It's very hard for them to see that. And it's understandable, because as I said, I had exactly the same position back then. You don't think automatically about Islam.
Let's create a bright green future where we all feel
Thank you very much, Usama Tahir. We have $7 Canadian. Thank you very much. Says, Bobby, could you make more videos on Imam al-Ghazali and other Sufi scholars? Your reflections are deep and enjoyable. Would love to see more. Yeah, I love al-Ghazali. I'm reading his books as well. And inshallah, I will make more videos. But that being said, I mean, I reacted to a few of his. I wouldn't know exactly to which one to react to. So if you have any more that are worth watching, I will definitely check him out. For me, his later life is especially interesting. What I can do, potentially, after reading a few of his books, maybe do like a book review of sorts, inshallah. We could do that. But yeah, I have a lot of love for Al-Ghazali. I just love how he dismantled, essentially, not philosophy as a whole, but let's say philosophy without Islam, philosophy without the grounding of believing in one God. So he's like the original troll. Very funny. Hiking Adventurer is asking, Bobby, do you want to be more spiritual or literal? So I don't think that this is about wanting, to be totally honest, because one does not choose what one wants. To be very philosophical here. Back in the day, in my younger days, when I was still into pick-up, nowadays it's called red pill, but back in the day it was called pick-up, I read a book of Neil Strauss, and there is a quote that never left me ultimately. It's very deep, but very simple. And I love simple, deep things. It says, attraction is no choice. Simple as that. And what does it mean? What you are attracted to, you do not choose at all. In that context of the book, it was, of course, about women. So let's say something simple. You cannot choose if you are attracted to, let's say, red hair. You might be super attracted to red hair. That's amazing. You love it. Or you might find it ugly, even. The attraction is no choice at all, right? And therefore, when it comes to anything in life, let's say something simple again, food. You might love mayonnaise. Other people hate mayonnaise. So there again, the attraction to this food is no choice whatsoever. And therefore your question is, do you want to be more spiritual or literal? That is not a choice. Somebody will be more attracted to literalism, and that will be his journey, his path. There is diversity within Islam as well, from the get-go, not of the core message, of course, but of the approach, if you will. And therefore, some people will resonate with literalism. I personally never resonated with literalism. I work more in metaphors. I work more in, I wouldn't even say a philosophical approach necessarily, but a more holistic approach. I'm not a literal person. I don't see life like it. I don't see life like it. Genuinely, I don't see life being literal. That's me. That's how I function, and there I have no choice whatsoever. Right? So therefore, I am more inclined towards this spiritual. But even this word itself is very tainted, of course, because what does that really mean? Does it mean we smoke weed now and sit in a lotus position on an island here in Thailand? Is that more spiritual? Spirituality has been absolutely perverted, ultimately, in the latest 3-4 decades, maybe even longer, actually, 5 decades by now, because it started with the 70s, of course, where this whole hippie movement originated. And therefore, spirituality nowadays is very, very tainted. So I'm speaking about a connection, a deeper connection to God. You have a knowingness in your heart, ultimately. A deeper connection to your own fitra, if you will. Right? So this is what I mean with spirituality. A more intuitive approach to life. Right? That's how I work. I don't work with literalism. That's not my persona. But yet again, it's no choice. Right? Some people are more artistic, other people are more mathematical, more logical, etc., etc. But I see this balance in Islam anyways. So Islam is rationally defendable, logically defendable, philosophically defendable, spiritually defendable. So there is something for everybody, for every approach, there's something. Okay. Here we have the link. Thank you, Abdullah. Appreciate it. Which one is it? Here we are. Okay. Dr. Uthman Khamis, advice to Shia. Is that the video that you sent me on Instagram already, bro? I think. But anyways, let me check it out here. Anyways, we're going to watch it together. Let me just pull it up. Here we go. It's in Arabic, I believe, with subtitles. I'm going to read them out loud for you guys. I'm going to do the work for you. Okay, here we go. Dr. Uthman. And of course, again, to play devil's advocate or to simply be as objective as I can, this here is of course not a Shia scholar, and therefore the Shiis will say, well, take some of our scholars. And again, I'm completely open to it, no problem. This is a platform for everybody. We're just here to find truth, ultimately.
أولا كلمة شيعي
Okay, let's start with the word
كلمة في
Shi.
حد ذاتها لا
The meaning of this word itself is not
كما
bad.
قال الله تبارك وتعالى عن نوح عليه
As
الصلاة
Allah said
والسلام
about Noah, 1 second, let me just make this a bit bigger, like this, and make myself a bit smaller. I'm going to lift it up here so you can read the subtitles as well. Okay, that's better. As Allah said about Noah, prayer and peace be upon him,
السلام وإن من شيعته
and indeed among his
أي من
kind was
أنصاره
Abraham,
فشيعة الرجل
which means
أنصاره
thus one Shiites are his advocates. Wait a second.
سلام
He's very fast.
وإن من شيعته
And indeed among his kind was Abraham. So he says Shiite, right? So kind, I believe now, if I'm not mistaken, would be the word Shia, right?
لإبراهيم أي من أنصاره فشيعة الرجل أنصاره.
Okay, Shia means advocates. So yeah, I got it almost correct.
شيعة فلان هم المحبون له أو المتابعون له أو المناصرون له.
Okay, so the Shias are his followers, the lovers of him, his advocates. So simply followers of a specific person.
وقد كان يقال في السابق
previously,
هؤلاء شيعة علي هؤلاء
Those are Ali's Shiites, Muawiyah Shiites, and Uthman Shiites. Okay.
شيعة معاوية هؤلاء شيعة عثمان فشيعة الرجل أنصاره ومحبوه. ثم بعد ذلك مع كثرة استخدام هذه الكلمة صارت يعني علما على طائفة معينة يقال لهم.
Okay, so basically what he says is there was always the case that you had followers of a certain person, his team, his lovers. Thank you very much. His lovers, his supporters, his advocates, etc., you name it. But after they kept on using it ultimately, and it became Shia versus the Sunnis. It became its own sect.
الشيعة في مقابل السنة. فإما أن يكون رجل شيعيا وإما أن يكون
And the man can be Shia or
وكان
Sunni.
الشيعي في السابق عند أهل العلم هو من يفضل.
Okay, at one time for scholars, a Shia is the one that prefers Ali over Uthman. There was a time period.
عليا على عثمان. يعني من قال علي أفضل من عثمان قالوا هذا شيعي.
This means that who says Ali is better than Uthman is said to be a Shiite. Okay, yet again, so this here for me is simply political. That's it. So whoever the better caliph is or the right caliph is, etc., this is just a political divide up until now. Right? And even here, I have no interest in that whatsoever.
شيعي. هذا شيعي. وإنما الكلام بين علي وعثمان فقط. يقول علي أفضل من عثمان فكانوا يقول هذا
It just
شيعي.
says that Ali is better than
لكن
Uthman.
عقيدته هي عقيدة أهل السنة.
Okay, so however, his faith, his aqidah is generally the way that Sunnis practice nowadays.
بشكل عام. في الصفات في الرب سبحانه وتعالى
Traits of Allah Almighty.
في سائر الأمور هم على
Everything
عقيدة
else.
أهل السنة فقط يفضل عليا على عثمان فكان يقول له شيعي. ثم بعد ذلك تجاوز الأمر فجاءت طائفة أو مجموعة تعدت
Yeah, he's basically repeating the same thing. Then a sect has been formed, essentially a denomination
مجرد التفضيل مجرد
who
تفضيل
exceeded
علي
the
على
preference
عثمان
of Ali over Uthman.
وتمادت حتى صارت تسب عثمان تسب.
And then they went further until they started swearing, cursing Uthman ultimately. And Abu Bakr, Umar, and the
أبا بكر
companions.
تسب عمر تسب أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم حتى خرج رجل يقال له عبد الله.
And following this, a man named Abdullah bin Saba has come.
ابن سبأ فقال في علي ما قالته اليهود في يوشع ابن نون فقال في علي أنه الوصي بعد النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم.
He proclaimed Ali as the guardian after the Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم.
وادعى العصمة لعلي رضي الله عنه.
And he
فهنا
claimed that Ali is infallible. So this is now where we get into real problems ultimately. Because, as he just said here, this is exactly the impression that I got looking at it from the outside. Right? Again, I'm here to stand corrected if I'm wrong. But it seemed very, very similar to Christianity, of what the Christians did with Jesus, may peace be upon him. It seemed, again, the same human elevation, if you will, right? This human worship, directly or indirectly.
صار هؤلاء يطلق عليه باسم الرافضة أو السبائية في البداية. ثم بعد ذلك صار اسم
Okay, so then they were named Rafida ultimately, which means rejection. I didn't know that.
الرافضة علما على هؤلاء. فالقصد أن اليوم عندما يقال شيعي، إذا كان هذا الشيعي أو الذي يتسمى بشيعي، طيب، لا يقول بالعصمة، ولا يقول بسب أصحاب النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم، ولا يقول بتحريف القرآن، ولا يقول بعقيدة البداء، ولا يقول بالرجعة إلى الدنيا، يعني الأئمة يرجعون إلى الدنيا قبل يوم القيامة، يعني لما 12 يقول بعودتهم إلى الدنيا قبل يوم القيامة.
Exactly, there is this theology as well of the 12 imams that will return, right? That's again another innovation, clearly.
ولا يعني يقول بأنهم يعلمون الغيب ويتصرفون بالكون ويحيون ويميتون وغير ذلك، ويقول أنا شيعي. هذه ما في مشكلة، كلنا شيعة من هذا الجانب، وهو أننا
Yeah, that's basically what I just said, right? I mean, what I said in the beginning here on the live stream, that if it is just the political conflict and the Shias are 100% correct with that, presumably, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, fine, then you might take a political position. Who should have been the Caliph, etc., whatever. Okay, cool. But not in terms of theology, not in terms of Aqidah, basically.
نحب آل بيت النبي صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. الأصل عندي أن كل من
Okay, anyways, the video is very long. I'm going to cut it off here. Thank you very much, Abdullah, for this. This is really what I just mentioned in the beginning of the live stream, that everything that is innovated, for me, makes no sense. Because I saw this pure monotheism in the Quran. Why would I now deviate from that? And why would I now make a political movement my Aqidah, essentially? Right? Because it's not. Those are two separate issues. That's how I see it. So I cannot see how this political involvement then has to trickle down into the faith, into the theology. No way. So I cannot accept that. But anyways, I'm absolutely open to speak to Shias. If anybody wants to come on the channel, teach us their theology, I'm absolutely willing to entertain that as well. Why not? Might as well. And I see in the comment section it's about the family of the Prophet being murdered, etc., etc. Again, I'm absolutely willing to say, hey, let's look into it. Maybe politically, you guys are actually correct. Let's say, no worries, man. But then again, why innovate certain things, such as the 12 imams on top of the faith, or Ali being infallible, etc., etc., you name it. So the Prophet was Prophet Muhammad. It was not Ali. I'm just putting on my AC. Anyways, we had some super chats. Thank you very much. 1 second. By Sola Qurana. Sola Qurana is like Sola Scriptura. So this is a Quranist, I would assume. $7 Canadian. Thank you very much. Says Quran 12:36 to 12:40. Wine like blood, bread, flesh, crucifixion, Egyptian pharaonic origin of Christianity, mummification, our history is a lie. Okay, I'm gonna entertain this, even though I have absolutely no clue what it means. So let me open up Quran 12:36 to 12:40. That's Surah Yusuf, apparently. Okay, I'm going to read it. It's a super chat after all, so let's have a look. Here we go. 1236. I hope this is what you meant by it. And with Joseph, 2 other slaves entered the prison. One of them said, I saw myself pressing wine in a dream. Yeah, this must be it. And the other said, I saw myself carrying bread on my head, of which the birds were eating. I remember this slightly. Both said, tell us what is its interpretation, for we consider you to be one of those who do good. At the time when Prophet Joseph was sent to prison, he probably was about 20 years old. This has been inferred from 2 statements in the Quran. This is the tafsir now. Let's keep on reading. Joseph said, I will inform you about the interpretation of the dreams before the arrival of the food that is sent to you. This knowledge is part of what I have been taught by my Lord. I have renounced the way of those who do not believe in Allah and who deny the hereafter. And I have adopted the way of my forefathers, Abraham and Isaac and Jacob. It is not for us to associate any with Allah in His divinity. It is out of Allah's grace upon us and upon mankind that He did not require of us to serve any other than Allah. And yet most people do not give thanks. Fellow prisoners, it is better that there be diverse lords or just Allah, the one, the irresistible. Those whom you serve besides Him are merely idle names that you and your fathers have fabricated, without Allah sending down any sanction for them. All authority to govern rests only with Allah. He has commanded that you serve none but Him. This is the right way of life, though most people are altogether unaware. Yeah, absolutely beautiful. Yet again, pure Tawheed, pure monotheism found here in the Quran. I nevertheless don't really understand what the super chat meant, because he said wine like blood, even though it's not mentioned, but okay. Bread, flesh, like in the crucifixion, Egyptian pharaonic origin of Christianity, mummification, our history is a lie. Okay, bro. Thank you very much for the support. I appreciate it, but I really don't understand the connection here. I simply see Joseph here essentially preaching to the prisoners and talking about pure monotheism. Again, that we shouldn't take any partners beside God. Which is so simple and so amazing, honestly. Because to this very day, people still don't get it. Weather Republic says, hi, Bobby. Hi, Weather Republic. Ken Dung says, like how's Nico's friend circle now with Sheikh Uthman and other brothers? I hope, Bobby, you join them. I'm cool, man. I'm cool with Sheikh Uthman. I didn't hang out with Nico. We wrote briefly when he was in Thailand. Yeah, inshallah, one day we're gonna hang out somewhere. But I'm not really into it much, to be totally honest. This online dawah scene is not really my métier, if you will. More power to them, but it's just not really my thing. We are protein. Good to see you, brother. How you doing, man? He says, yo, Bobby, how's life and how's family? Alhamdulillah, man. So far, so good. Very peaceful at the moment. Very peachy. I'm happy. Okay. Thank you very much for 142 likes. Guys, Widlex here has a very optimistic and very ambitious goal in mind. He wants 400 likes. So do me the favor and thumb up the stream. If you can, if you have a thumb. I think it works with the index finger as well. And with the pinky. Give it a go. It's free. And helps a brother out. Thank you very much. Danku-sama says, Brother Bobby, do you do sports or do you go to the gym? I go to the gym, but very rarely. The last time that I went to the gym is 2 weeks ago again. And do I do any other sports? Yes, I do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And I competed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. So yes, I do other sports too. I did some boxing as well back in the day. Lately I've been just grappling. Gotis, is this the real? Gotis says, hey man, privatize your eat, move, rest video right now. Their copyright striking everyone and they're doing it with a lawyer. I privatized all of mine. Okay, let me see if this is the real Gotis. Because if so, then I will trust your authority, my friend. And if not, then I'm not going to privatize it. Because to be honest, let me just check if it's you or not. But even if they are edited with a lawyer, first and foremost, I don't think that Gotis would say that. But let me see. Let me check. Go to channel. No, it is Gotis. Okay, bro. I take your authority for it then. I personally am not too concerned, to be totally honest. I have a lawyer as well, in any case. But that being said, I don't really think that they can do much, because it is, after all, fair use. So therefore, whatever, man. It's not much of an ad revenue anyways. So, okay, let me get into it. Eat, move, rest, Bobby's perspective. And cool to see you, man. I sent you a message, or rather I wrote a comment under the video that you did about me. And whenever you want to, we can do a live stream and just talk about anything, about nature, God, whatever. Not in a debate style or anything. It's really not my style whatsoever. I would genuinely like to invite you and we could just share ideas. I think that would be pretty cool for our viewers. Anyways, good to see you, man. 1 second. Eat, move, rest was the name. Yeah, man, this video. When did I do this, man? 3 years ago? 4 years ago? Let me see. Ah, those guys. Ah, okay. 3 years ago. Okay, I said it on private. Why not? Those guys are proper psychopaths, man. Check this out. 1 second. Here we are. So those are the two videos that I made on them back then. Eat, move, rest, starving babies. I miss those days. Eat, move, rest, how we starve our family. Yeah, but it's true. It's absolutely true. Oh, man. Okay, got this. Just because it's you, I'm going to take your advice. I really have no time and nerve to go through another legal battle, and I have a few going on at the moment, believe it or not. So I'm going to privatize them for now. Cool. Bunch of retards, man. Okay, edit video. 1 second, guys. If it's really something that has to be done, I'll do it quickly now. What happens? What is happening? Okay, private. Cool. Save. Okay, one video is down. So what did they do to you, man? Did they send a lawyer over? I mean, did they send you an email or what happened there? Would be interesting to know. Bunch of retards. You know, you make online content and then somebody is reacting to it and then you cannot take it. Oh my God, I can't take it. I can't take the critique. Unbelievable. Bunch of dummies. Okay. Private. Got it. Saved. Okay. They're off. Again, thanks a lot, bro. Appreciate it. Thanks for saving me from this hustle here. But it's just so stupid. Again, man. There's so many people, especially during the vegan or anti-vegan days, that made videos about me. And they made me look ridiculous. Ooh. So what? So what now? What's the big deal, right? So you can't deal with any outside critique, then you should never present yourself online in the first place. I don't get it. But anyways, those people are hardcore retards, man. They essentially made videos, I think they're in their late 30s, I'm not too sure, whatever. Videos about them working out with baby dumbbells, almost breaking their back, and then feeding their children a vegan diet, and everything was super saturated and peachy and the most mind-numbing music that you can imagine. Yeah, it's a crappy video. It's crap. The content is crap. You bring it out there, and therefore I reacted to it. Who? Pardon me. Excusez-moi. Anyways, Gato says, cool, man. I didn't see your comment. They're suing vegan deterioration, and now they wanted to go after me. Yeah, okay, again, thank you very much, man, because I don't really have a dog in that fight anymore, and veganism is dead anyways, and they are not going to change anything about it. But legally speaking, it falls under fair use. So therefore, if they want to sue, yeah, I don't really have the motivation to it because, as I said, I'm already in a legal battle, in a few legal battles at the moment. But yeah, they would lose anyways. There is absolutely no point. Creators are protected under this fair use anyhow, so they're not going to get their will. It was Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan that wanted to sue me as well. And I went for it. I said, okay, let's do it, man. And then he dropped out because he knew that he's going to lose the case anyhow. Anyways, be that as it may, yeah, I wrote your comment. I said, you're more than welcome to jump on a stream. We can just talk about whatever, diet, religion or no religion, naturalistic perspective, etc., etc. I think it would be very interesting. So if you are up to it, at some point we can do that. I know that at the moment you're not streaming, but if you want to stream again at some point, more than welcome, bro. More than welcome. Willkommen. Du sprichst ja auch Deutsch. Okay, anyways. So much for that. We got saved from a legal battle here. Veganism, man. Honestly, it's so dead. There was a time, I really have to think back now, I'm not too sure when it was. Maybe 2016 or so, 2017, roughly that time. It seemed as if they are rolling out the plant-based agenda and the blind masses, the sheep, they're going for it and they can't wait to 3D print their mock meats and drink their soy sludge. They were ready to get enslaved, right? But especially throughout this whole pandemic, whatever, I think now we can say it again, man, people started eating more meat than ever again because they got into survival mode, if you will. And we had pictures of supermarkets being empty. There was no toilet paper anymore. There was no water. There was no vinegar, no oil, no vegetable oil. But what was there was the mock meats. The mock meats were still there. Nobody got them, even though they thought that the supermarkets will be empty. And I believe through this whole thing, the plant-based agenda absolutely crashed. Before that, you had movies like Game Changers and whatnot, and people were really buying it still. But now it's so dead. It's unbelievable. Every time I see some vegans making reels on Instagram or on YouTube Shorts or whatnot, I'm really wondering how you can still believe this crap. It's unbelievable. Because when it came about at first, there was a lot of scientific evidence, not truly, but on face value, that people gobbled up, right? Even I, shame on me, I admit, I came from a stupid bodybuilding background. And I thought, okay, all you need is proteins, carbs, and fats. Now we understand that you don't really have saturated fats in coconuts and avocados, but not the real proper saturated animal fats, obviously, in plants. But back then I thought, okay, I'm getting my macros here. I'm going to track everything, and therefore it must work, right? But now it's crystal clear. There's a lot of reviews of the carnivore diet, even though I don't think the carnivore diet is ideal. Nevertheless, you had many reviews about that online, and people simply saw what kind of scam veganism is. So nowadays, I don't see it at all progressing whatsoever. And that's obviously the most important thing for me, what is happening in real life. We had many debates, right? No matter which team you take, but we had many debates with vegans versus carnivores, vegans versus omnivores. Now you have religious debates, Christians versus Muslims. I don't care at all for those debates because ultimately the team carnivore will say, okay, the carnivore guy won. The vegans will say, oh yeah, the vegan guy won. But what I'm interested in is what is happening in this world. Are they taxing meat now? Is it more expensive than ever? Are they removing meats? What is going on? No, none of it is happening. Meat is still very, very well desired by the peasantry. Everybody still eats meat, and veganism is on a decline, even with Google Trends, etc. And the same comes down to the theological discussions as well. The Christians, they think they got a win over the Muslims in a debate. The reality is Islam is the fastest growing religion anyways. So yeah, that's what I'm interested in, what is happening in this world, and not what somebody thinks online. Anyways, Gata says, yeah, I want to save you the hassle and any trouble for your channel, seeing as it is the income for your family. Yeah, man, hey, thank God it is not the only income anymore. I know that you said that in your video about me as well. It was for a long time as well. But thank God, aside from this channel, I started investing in many different fields. And yeah, nowadays, it's not my main income anymore. Thank God for that, I really have to say. But that being said, in order for me to keep on running this YouTube channel, I said it before, this channel is definitely dependent upon your guys' support, because it takes a lot of time. So Gattis, I think you would agree, it takes a lot of time to record videos and to pump out videos on a daily basis, to do live streams for many, many hours. So you're taking away time from other work and of course time away from your family in order to produce content, right? So for this content to keep on running, still, this channel is dependent on the support of the subscribers, 100%. I don't know how it is with you, Gattis. Now we're already having a little monologue here, dialogue, whatever. That's what I'm saying, you should come on a live stream. But I would really like to know how your ad revenue is in your niche. Because talking about religion, the ad revenue is pretty low. The highest ad revenue, the RPM, I believe it is called, right, is obviously with finance, crypto, etc., etc. That's where you have the biggest revenue. But in terms of alternative content, be it religious, be it nutritional, there's not much in terms of RPM, which means you don't have many suitable advertisers. And aside from YouTube demonetizing every second video, of course. Okay. Thank you very much, Paul Rodriguez. There is a super chat, but there is no question attached. Either way, thank you very much. Appreciate it, man. Oh, wait a second. Here's a separate question or message. Assalamu alaikum. Wa alaikum assalam. Good morning. It's been too long. Yeah, I haven't seen you in a while, man. So he says, it's been too long. I hope all is well with everyone. Great to see you, Bobby. May Allah make this dunya easy for us. Grant us the best in this life and the next. Ameen. Ameen, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Burak says, Bobby, what do you think about the Islamic heaven, which focuses heavily on carnal pleasures and materialism? Doesn't make more sense that we transcend our carnal nature and dwell spiritually. So I see how people could perceive it that way, but Islamically speaking, nobody tells you that you're going to have a flesh body, right? So it's not identical to this incarnation. And therefore, the descriptions of the afterlife, I wouldn't draw this exact correlation to this life. So if it says you will have your reward and it will be pleasurable, I wouldn't see it in terms of bodily pleasure as such. Okay. Coconut water. Delicious. Okay, let me look. 1 second, we have many questions here. Bobby, magst du mal einen Talk eingehen mit Leon Lovelock? Ich weiß nicht, wer Leon Lovelock ist. Aber ich bin an sich offen, mit jedem zu sprechen. Aber dieser Kanal ist ja in Englisch und nicht in Deutsch. Gata says, yes, we can do a live call sometime. My main income is from Telegram now, actually. Yeah, that's cool, man. That's good. Hopefully the app stays up after the controversy recently. Yeah, God willing, man, hopefully. It was just a question of time, of course, that they will catch him. Because ultimately, you don't have true freedom of speech anywhere. And if you do, then not for long, right? So that's why, I mean, on X, Twitter, right now, you do have quite a bit of free speech. Honestly, actually quite a lot. But nevertheless, that's why the CEO had to go to a certain country in order to apologize there, and then go to Germany, to a specific place in Germany, in order to see the atrocities and be very, very sad about it, of course. Otherwise, this platform wouldn't stay up either, right? And so I think that the Telegram inventor didn't really do that. Quite the opposite. The guy was somewhat of a renegade, if you will. He was a sperm donor as well. I'm talking about him as if he died now, but he is a sperm donor as well, and he has 100 children. So the guy was definitely something else. But nevertheless, Telegram is, of course, the only uncensored platform in totality. And it was crystal clear that at some point they're going to come after him. Yeah, we can only pray it stays up, of course. Okay. Okay. The greatest pleasure of heaven is seeing Allah. Also, we can't imagine heaven. Yeah, exactly. So all of those descriptions are essentially still not something that you can understand. It is a description, I don't want to say necessarily in a metaphorical sense, but nevertheless, the words themselves do not translate to this dunya, to this creation. Okay. My Twitter account has been suspended because free speech about Palestine. Again, to be fair, on X, Twitter, whatever, you can speak quite a bit about those subjects, much more than anywhere else, much more than on Instagram or YouTube. So therefore, it's pretty good. But the CEO, again, he had to bite the bullet and actually go to those people to apologize to them. And now it keeps on running to an extent. Okay. Okay, somehow somebody is obsessed with a specific aspect here of the afterlife. All right, all right. Okay, guys, it's all right. Stop the infighting. Let's get back to the stream. As I said already, if you have any YouTube videos that you want me to react to, simply post them and we can make it more interactive and we can watch them. It makes it more fun for me personally as well. Then I don't have to just hold long monologues, but I rather watch something as well and kick back. Okay, we're discussing how the Quran was gathered. I really can't believe that people are still discussing the authenticity of the Quran. I really don't see the point there. We have the Birmingham manuscript, which should be at least an indicator, if not sufficient, right? But anyways. Bobby, I think you would be a great guest on the Joe Rogan podcast or any other podcast, really. Yeah, well, I take that, let's say, as a compliment. Thank you very much. But I find the Joe Rogan experience pretty boring, especially, oh man, for the past 3-4 years or so. There was a time where it was kind of revolutionary and, in a sense, and pretty interesting. I mean, even during this whole pandemic thing, he was standing his ground, so that is something that I salute. He was against that was pretty good as well. He was for alternative methods. Kudos, cool. But I think somewhere down the line, he got silenced for sure, and the streams, the podcast became very, very boring and superficial in a sense. I don't see very deep topics being discussed. Yeah. And on the other side, it's just this aspect of novelty that is missing now, because when he started the podcast, I think he was 40 or so relatively young. Now he's in his 50s, and it's not the same energy anymore, and you cannot expect that anyways. All right. But yeah, Joe Rogan Experience not so cool anymore. Okay. How good is your German? Mein Deutsch ist erstklassig. Ich kann mich sehr gut in Deutsch ausdrücken. Ich könnte Bücher schreiben in Deutsch. Ich kann mich intellektuell, aber auch Kölsch ausdrücken. Ja, ich spreche Deutsch. Yeah, my German is pretty good, I would say. Yeah, remember that's in Thailand. There is some guy blind, but he memorized the whole Quran. And now he became Ustad for blind people. Oh, amazing. SubhanAllah, I don't know about that. The Prophet series. I'm always getting requests for it. And yeah, inshallah, I will continue at some point. Do you react to German content also? Man, I have a channel. Let's say I have a channel. I think that's a good description. I own a channel in German, and I made a few videos. And with a few, I really mean a few, maybe 2-3 videos, something like that, about veganism actually, and they were going pretty well. Wait a second, let me just check that myself. Switch account. Let me see. Where is it? Is it this one? I'm not too sure. I'm not even logged in anymore. Yeah, I would have to look it up. I don't have access to my own account at the moment. Wait a second. Bobby's perspective. Vegan ist geisteskrank. I called it. Okay. Yeah, it was alright. I did this 2 years ago when I was in France. So we have 16,000 views, 10,000 views, 11,000 views, and one video with 6.8, so almost 7,000 views. Wait a second, let me show you guys. Where is it? Yeah, Boomer Bobby in action. Let me just find the browser. Okay, here we are. So yeah, this was my German channel, or is my German channel, but I haven't done anything in over 2 years. 5 videos, as you can see. Oh no, there's one stream here that I did with my friend 3 years ago. Okay. And then, oh, wait a second, I'm in the way. Yeah, like this. I made one video in German, Veganismus ist geisteskrank, I called it. And there I talked about my journey from meat eater, dirty flesh eater, to vegan and back. And then I made a video called Dekadent ist geisteskrank. Then I made a video called Rohe Energie ist geisteskrank. And then I made a video Nicole ohne E ist geisteskrank. So yeah, many videos. Not really. 4 videos. And they were going well, but I simply lost motivation. This is when I really got into Islam and I simply couldn't be bothered anymore. But maybe I will return to it. Or maybe I will make some German content about Islam as well. Why not? Inshallah. I was on a German podcast actually. What was the name? What was the name? It's this German, very polished type of Dawa channel. Oh man, I can't think of the name. Because that was the only thing we did together and then I never talked to them again. Even though they were very, very, very nice. We had a bit of contact via WhatsApp and then I just let it be. I'm really not too interested in Germany. What was their name? I can't think of it. Let me see. Islam Deutsch. Are you going to find something? No. No. Not either. It was a podcast with those guys. Mein Islam? I'm not too sure. Yeah, I can't find it. No idea. Let me know in the chat, guys. What are German Islamic channels? Mein Islam? I'm not too sure. They do street dawah as well. And they do quiz about Islam. That's what I remember. But not more. I don't remember more. If you know the name of the channel, let me know, then we can look it up, because I did a podcast with them. Or an interview, rather, whatever. Okay. See. Gehst du bald mit Grayson live? Was hältst du von ihm? Gerüchten zufolge, Gerüchten zufolge. Wir werden sehen. Bobby, I switched to Samsung from iPhone because of your last stream and I love it. Did you sell your new S24 again? Nah, man, I still have this piece of crap. I can't really see it. Green screen, whatever. Hello, here, like this. Okay, that works. Yeah, I bought the brand new S24. I'm a consumer. I'm loving it. Not. It really sucks. I'm getting used to it now, but it sucks. It has so many bugs, man. Unbelievable. Do you mean the podcast of Omar and Zakaria? Maybe. I don't know, man. I really don't know. Would you say you had an addictive personality and Islam helped you with that? No, I don't have an addictive personality. I did a lot of wild things in my life and I experimented with a lot of different things and I never had the issue of being dependent upon anything. Every time I wanted to stop something, I just stopped it and that's it. Bobby, what's your genuine perspective on Andrew Tate? So, okay, I cannot have a genuine perspective, and that's not a cop-out. I really mean this. Because I can only have a perspective of an online image. That's what it is. So, you cannot know me fully, even though I'm really as transparent as I can be on those platforms, and I simply speak my mind. I speak to you guys the same way that I would speak to my friends. Of course, minus the trigger words for the algorithm. But nevertheless, not everybody does that online and people have a brand. And therefore, I cannot judge that brand as the person. I simply cannot. And moreover, you cannot judge how people are in front of a camera, doing monologues, etc. Some people are a bit awkward in front of the camera. And you don't get the full character. That's just what it is. So therefore, Andrew Tate himself, I cannot judge him, because I do not know him personally. That's what it is. And the same applies really, believe it or not, to any people in authority as well. Even politicians that sometimes appear as the worst kind of humans, you don't know. You don't know what is really going on in the background, what kind of threats they are getting, etc., etc., you name it. So therefore, to judge a book by its cover is not what we should do. Nevertheless, of course, you asked me, and therefore I'm going to respond. From what I've seen online, what is my perspective on Andrew Tate? I personally am not too impressed, let's say. I am not impressed with your performance, Andrew. I'm not too impressed with his Islamic understanding. And no, I'm not asking for much here at all, because not everybody that accepts Islam pursues being a scholar or a student of knowledge or anything on those lines. Clearly. But there must be some sort of motivation, basically, a reason why you became Muslim, and that reason has to be found within the theology of Islam. Does that make sense? Because Andrew Tate often said that he was attracted by the dominance, the power of Islam, the way that Muslims handle themselves, the way that they essentially are protective of their prophets, etc., etc., you name it. So a very masculine religion, if you will, the way that they handle their women, etc., right? And that is all fine and dandy if that is what attracted him towards Islam. However, is there not something within Islam, theologically, that made you accept it? I think that's just absolutely logical, because those fundamental traditional values, a great majority of them, you can find within Christianity and Judaism, etc. as well. if you would practice those values. No problem. However, within Christianity, we have the Trinity. We have a way of polytheism ultimately masquerading as monotheism, as Unitarianism in a Trinity. So, therefore, Tawhid should be the main reason for a Christian to leave Christianity. Isn't that only reasonable to ask? To say, hey, up until now, I was following the delusion, I was subscribed to the delusion of worshipping three as one. Now I return to the clear, pure worship of the ultimate, of God. Otherwise, if you don't hold that belief, why accept Islam? Then you can go to another belief system or let go of it, right? So, okay, again, the impression that I get from the online character of Andrew Tate is that he doesn't even understand Tawhid. He doesn't even understand monotheism. Not even that. By the way, we have Mikhail Varik here. Bobby, I stopped smoking. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, man. Because we talked about that and he made it. So an applause for you, bro. Congratulations. That's amazing. And keep at it. Stay away from it. Totally pointless, man. Okay, so back to it. So from what I've seen online, yet again, that he doesn't even have the simple, basic understanding of Tawhid. That's it. That for me is quite surprising, shocking, let's say disappointing, but not really. I really don't care, to be totally honest. So if somebody doesn't get it, then it's his loss. I really don't care what anybody else believes. I generally don't. I'm actually very interested in different opinions. I personally believe that I'm upon the truth with Islam, of course. Otherwise, why accept Islam in the first place? But nevertheless, I wouldn't say respect, but I do appreciate other opinions for sure. But nevertheless, Andrew accepted Islam and he doesn't even understand the basis of Tawhid at all. Zero. Right? This is very, very obvious when he says, hey, we're going to go and worship Jesus. It's like, what are you talking about? What are you even talking about, man? Like, meanwhile, it was amazing. Last Christmas, I got asked by Muslims here in Thailand if it's okay, rather, to congratulate Christians on Christmas. To say, hey, Merry Christmas, guys. And me as a revert have to say, no, it's not, right? So this is where I draw the line. And meanwhile, this man doesn't even understand that he shouldn't worship Jesus as a Muslim. That doesn't make any sense, right? So this is my opinion when it comes down to his theological development, because he actually accepted Islam before me. And okay, they say, oh, well, he went to prison, etc. Okay, man. Now he has been under house arrest for the longest time. You can learn the basics in an afternoon. It really doesn't take much to understand what we're talking about here, right? This is not a fiqh issue or anything. We're simply talking about Tawhid. Worship one God. Do not attribute any partners to him. Do not worship any men, any people. But yeah, he didn't get that. So in his worldview right now, I see many holes. And moreover, what I found, again, let's say anticlimactic. Okay, because really, disappointing is not true, because I'm not disappointed in him. I'm not his father. I don't care what he does. But let's say anticlimactic, because he accepts Islam. Then he goes to prison, and he goes into prison with the Quran. Awesome, cool. And then he comes out, right? And you see him at press conferences, and he's holding dear to his Quran. So you would expect him to become a different person. For example, Malcolm X, when he got into prison and he became a Muslim, at first, of course, with the Nation of Islam and whatnot, but nevertheless, he becomes a Muslim, and then later he accepts the true faith. He changes, because he was a drug dealer, he was a pimp, right? He was fornicating, etc., etc. He was living a degenerate lifestyle. and then he became a different person. He became a Muslim. And that's something that you would expect, of course, in this arc of an Andrew Tate. But for me, it became like, okay, now he's going back to his old self again. He's trying to be preposterous again. He's trying to be very loud-mouthed and trigger the algorithm again with his very divisive opinions and whatnot. Okay, cool. It's catering to children ultimately, or to teenagers. And then, out of a sudden, he becomes a bit more conservative, which you would expect of a Muslim, of course. However, he becomes a right-wing conservative out of a sudden and is defending Europe, and Europe has to return to Christianity. And then he is in support of Tony Robinson, and this whole charade essentially happens in the UK. So I don't understand how he is a Muslim. And again, I'm not basing being a Muslim on deep theological issues, on madhabs and whatnot. I'm simply basing it upon, do you understand Aqidah? Do you understand Tawheed? Do you understand Shirk? Do you understand this? Do you want to accept Islam? That's what I want to see in a Muslim, not much more, right? You don't need to speak Arabic. But understand what Islam is, understand a little bit about the political intentions of Islam. Understand that you are neither a right-winger or a leftist. You're a Muslim. It's a life-encompassing ideology, right? So I don't see any of that with Andrew whatsoever. Anyways, so now I talked a lot about him, but yet again, I really want to make clear, I want to clarify this. I'm simply speaking about what I have seen online. I might be completely wrong because I haven't talked to the man, right? Therefore, I cannot say it as a fact. But from what I've seen online, what I've seen in the YouTube videos and whatnot, this is the impression that I get. And yeah, it's not Islamic, dear Andrew. It really isn't. Okay, anyways, Dawa Trucker became a member. Thank you very much, brother. Welcome. We have some super chats here. Let me see.
US
Let me just refresh my dashboard. Dashboard. Coconut water with coconut pieces. Yummy. I still have this vegan soundtrack rocking here. And meanwhile, even vegans, Ferdi himself, the German vegan, is not vegan anymore. Unbelievable. Anyways, okay. King Musa, right? $20. Thank you very much for the generous support. Says this brother teamed up with a clear enemy of Islam and started a riot amongst Muslims. Brothers, sisters, and people, stop it. Yeah, so as I mentioned, I don't know if he partnered up with him, if he talked with him. I didn't really see what he did, but he was definitely in support of him in some way or another. And yes, Tommy Robinson is a clear enemy of Islam, and he is, of course, a Zionist. I think I can say that here. He is a clear Zionist and full support for their agenda. And therefore, you cannot support such people as a Muslim. It's impossible. No matter how much else good you're doing. Because from what I saw, is that Andrew Tate as well built some sort of charity, apparently, allegedly, in Palestine. So that is amazing. But then you cannot backstep and partner up or talk with even people like this Tommy Robinson, which is not even his real name. Bohmut donated $10. Thank you very much, brother. And sends a smiley, a sticker that says thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Okay, yeah, again, I don't know if he partnered up with him, so let's not muddy the waters here. Let me see. Andrew Tate and Tommy Robinson. Let me see if I can find something. Okay, that's 1 year ago. That's not it. Yeah, I mean, I cannot find any direct videos about it. But I know that I think he tweeted something off Robinson. If you have any videos, it doesn't need to be on YouTube. It can be on Rumble or whatnot. Post the link in the chat if you have something where Andrew Tate speaks about or speaks with Tommy Robinson. We have a video here. Wait a second. Nah, that's not it. That's in Speaker's Corner. They're talking about him. Okay, if you have a video of him, we clearly see that Andrew Tate is speaking about or with Tommy Robinson, or if we have any tweets or something on those lines, please post them now in the chat and then we can check them out, inshallah. But I don't see anything directly here. Over 200 likes, thank you very much. Guys, thumbs up, support the stream. Wirst du bald mal wieder in Deutschland sein? Wahrscheinlich nicht. Eher nicht. Ich brauche nichts in Deutschland. Dementsprechend. Lucky to Sneeko, he was surrounded with a circle of good Muslims, but sometimes his post chat is a little bit offensive. Yeah, Sneeko has been pretty impressive in terms of Islamic development, I would say. And I take into consideration that he is very young. Because at this age, especially in his position that he is at, coming to such fame and money at this stage in his life, at this age, to then truly seek out and be really genuine and honest about Islam, surrounding yourself with Muslims. He's doing very well, mashallah, for sure. Okay, let me see further. Tate with all his money can connect with Islam ulama, mufti, ustad, even muallim, but he insists of going on TV shows instead. Total attention seeker. Yeah, yet again, I don't know what is going on in his private life. That's why, yet again, I don't want to make a definitive judgment call. But again, for me, it's just very surprising that you just don't understand that you shouldn't worship Jesus. That's, come on, man. What is Islam then? What is Islam if you still go and worship people? And what is Islam then? Right? For you. Bro, I cannot find any account with that name. Yeah. Another super chat. By Dawa Trucker that just became a member and donated a generous whopping $50. Applause. Thank you. Thank you very much. Merci. Shukran. Hvala. Hvala lijepo. Dankeschön. That is amazing, man. Thank you very much for the support, bro. Appreciate it. He says, Bobby, I've been member of your channel for a long time. I wasn't aware I lost the membership. Andrew Tate is trying to play both sides of the fences. He is Christian whenever it fits him, when he is in Romania, and Muslim whenever he is in Dubai, or he was in Dubai. Yeah, that is a statement that I heard from him as well, which is, again, an impossibility. I think in Nigeria, they have Chrislam, yeah, a combination of Islam and Christianity, which again doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It makes only sense if you're in the outside and you don't understand the theology of the religions. Because I said that even back in the day when I was a Christian, an Orthodox Christian. I said, okay, Orthodox Christianity is the truth, that's what I believed, and therefore I said, if Orthodox Christianity is the truth, then the other religions cannot be true. Why? Simple, because in Christianity, Jesus is seen as God, as the Son of the Holy Trinity. Okay, fine, that's like your opinion, man. And in Judaism, on the other hand, Jesus is not even a prophet. He's not acknowledged positively, let's put it that way, right? Anyways, so if Christianity is true, then Judaism cannot be true. If Judaism is true, then Christianity cannot be true. And the same applies, of course, to Islam, that says Christians do not say Trinity, do not go to extremes in your religion, etc., etc. You name it. Okay, so this is extremely evident when you know about the religions. And therefore, Chrislam in Nigeria, I believe they came up with it in order to get some civil peace, because those guys were killing each other and whatnot. We had many violent scenarios in Nigeria. But theologically, obviously, it doesn't make any sense. You cannot do that at all. It's like saying, hey, my opinion, Bobby's opinion is that the sky is green. And John's opinion is that the sky is red. We cannot both be right. It's impossible. Okay, anyways, back to the super chat yet again. You cannot be a Christian and a Muslim. That doesn't work. You can come from Christianity, accept Islam, leave Christianity behind, and fulfill your religion, your true religion, in Islam. That is possible. Or you can become an apostate in Islam and become a Christian for whatever reason. Up to you. Okay, but you cannot be both. Choose a team. And ultimately, on the surface level, yet again, it seems like he chose a team, unfortunately, which is the American conservatives, which is very strange because he's not living in America, and I don't understand why he would take their position in the first place. Because those Christian conservatives, not all, of course, but predominantly, want a white Christian America. Okay? And if you remove the white, because let's say the majority does not want that, they're not so extreme, whatever, okay, then they still want a Christian conservative America. But in their worldview, Islam doesn't belong there. Right? Get it? So if Andrew is a true Muslim, they would be against it. And we know it from the Quran as well, the Christians and the Jews will only accept you if you practice like them, right? I'm paraphrasing here. If you believe like them, something on those lines. And we see that, of course, with Andrew Tate now being pulled in by those conservatives, because that's what they are saying to him. The majority of interviews, be it with the Candace Owens or with this other blonde lady, I forgot her name, she's from the UK, they all told him that he should return to Christianity, that he should come back to the UK or to America, etc., etc. Essentially this white world, right? The white world. That's where they want him. And Candace Owens as well, even though she's black, she wants him in this white Christian world. That's what it's really about, right? And it seems that he is going along with it for whatever reason, instead of showing how Islam is superior. Anyways, yeah, he said that himself, and that doesn't make any sense whatsoever, because then if you have a third base, let's say in Asia, then you're a Buddhist or what? Okay, I'm a Christian when I'm in Romania, and I go to church, and then I go to the mosque in Dubai, and then I go to the Buddhist temple when I'm in Asia. When I'm in India, I become a Hindu. Okay, man. I want you to argue with Grayson Brock because he's scared or something along those lines. I'm not going to argue with anybody. I don't care, generally. We're going to speak, and that's it. And Allah guides and decides who he guides. Anyways, Dawa Trucker, thank you very much, brother. Thank you very much for coming back to the membership team as well. And thank you very much for your fat donation. Appreciate it. Hey, Bobby, have you seen The Arrivals 2008? No, I haven't, but it was 2011 when I was in Germany, and my Muslim friends, they were all super high, super high, and they were watching The Arrivals, and they were always telling me about The Arrivals, and bro, the shaitan, and this and that, and I just wasn't interested at all. It didn't seem like something that I should watch at that time. So, hey, who knows, maybe I'm going to watch it nowadays. Revisit. Dawa Trucker says, this is at Mike, right? Okay, we have argument. You're welcome, dear brother, Bobby. Thank you very much, Dawa Trucker. Appreciate it, man. Hexagon X says, Bobby, thank you. I was Christian too, and you opened my eyes. That is amazing, but Allah opened your eyes, not me. That is just a fact. We are just pawns in the game. That's how it goes. But I'm happy for you. Alhamdulillah, man. Eyes are open. We woke up. We woke up. That's fantastic. Okay. Bobby, what would you say was the best time of your life? Or is it right now? That's a very deep question. Very deep question. So first and foremost, life is always only in the now. So therefore, there is no past and there is no future in that sense anyways. But that being said, to entertain the idea, every aspect of life is absolutely amazing and it's a chapter in itself. So right now, I'm extremely happy because I have 2 healthy children. I have a wife. Alhamdulillah, I'm happy. I'm Muslim. Amazing. I'm living in Thailand. My life is great, honestly. It's amazing. But with age and with my choices before that, of course, come a lot of downsides, such as I have a lot of injuries, I have certain immune issues, I have a lower back pain that I cannot resolve properly, there's a real physical injury, etc., you name it. So there are some downsides in the now. So therefore, in terms of youthfulness, I would say that when I was 27 or 28, there was a very beautiful time, physically speaking. When I was fighting with 27, 28, there was so much more energy. So that was amazing. But in many other areas, I lacked there. And it was very confusing and not so peaceful, etc., you name it. So I love life. I just love it. I'm so thankful that I'm here and that I can experience this. It's amazing. It's such a gift, right? But I don't confine it to a period because every period was absolutely amazing. And there were some hard downs as well, hard downs, be it me super sick in Germany or be it me as a vegan absolutely destroying myself. So there were many, many phases in my life, but I see it as chapters in a book, in a movie. And I said this on the last live stream. I met a person in the Amazon jungle and he was very old. He was, very old. He was in his 60s, but he looked like he was in his 90s, to be totally honest. But he said that enlightenment, and he was on this pursuit of enlightenment or whatever, is realizing that you're not driving the car. So you've been driving the car. That's what you think. You're driving the car and you get stuck in traffic and you're honking the horn, beep, beep, whatever. It's raining. People are crashing. You're getting into road rage and whatnot. Right? So you're driving. And sometimes it's a beautiful drive, whatever, the sun is shining, but you are driving. You are in control all the time. And then you realize, it's a taxi drive. I'm just sitting in the back. That's what this is about. Right? This is what he saw as enlightenment. You're still in this world, but you're not off this world really, and you just see it happening. And that's how I see it nowadays. Genuinely, life happens to me. It really happens. And it's not something that I actively choose in that way. So, for example, I really caught myself making a dad joke now. Super lame. Super cringe. Really super cringe. And I see that I'm not as cool as I used to be in my 20s. And I realize, okay, that's where God puts me now, and this is how I get transformed into becoming a father for my children. So I cannot be the way that I was in my 20s. It's impossible, right? And that's just how it is. And there's nothing I can do about it. I cannot change that either. And I welcome it, obviously, because this is the story. This is the story that is unfolding. Qadr Allah, ultimately, right? And I love it. And it's amazing. And I don't know how many years I have. I never thought that I'm going to become very, very old due to my lifestyle choices when I was young. So we will see. But alhamdulillah, man, I'm very, very happy for every day that I got. It's absolutely amazing. And there's really nothing better than seeing your kids grow up. It really is, genuinely. So it's quite amazing because your life is done in a way. Your old life is finished. You cannot do the things that you want to do back then. Nowadays, it's a luxury to take a nap when you are sick, right? My kid goes to school and they bring back something every week, man. Every week they bring a mega virus. It's like the school is the Wuhan lab in China. Honestly, it's unbelievable. but every week we are getting something and we are sick and whatnot. And in the morning you have to wake up, bring the guy to school, right? And you cannot sleep, you cannot take a nap because there he is. He wants to play with you. And it's amazing. And it's amazing. That's what it is. You know, I really, really love it. There's nothing better than that. So I aged generally, I think, in the last 3 years since my son is born. My daughter is almost 1 year now. In those 3 years, I aged 10 years, at least. Everything hurts. But I love it. It's amazing. And I want to have more children, inshallah. Right? So, yeah. For me, there is not one period in my life that is the period. There was an extreme period when I was bodybuilding, hardcore bodybuilding. There was a period where I was traveling the world. That is one of the most beautiful phases, for sure. When I finally left Germany and just saw this world that I didn't know before, man. And for many people nowadays, this might sound totally weird because everybody's on social media. But 10 years ago, I wasn't on social media. And I wasn't looking up anything on YouTube. And so I went to Australia, to Indonesia. I was traveling to those countries without ever seeing them previously on YouTube. And I was shocked. I never heard about Bali, for example, in my life. Now it's mainstream. Influencers are there, Bali, yada, 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 whatever. But when I went to Bali back then, I never heard about it before. I got told about Bali in a hostel, and then I booked a flight, and then I was there. It was amazing to me. So, yeah, traveling was a very, very beautiful period in my life and a pivoting point. So, therefore, I'm going to cherish that for the rest of my life, of course. But nevertheless, life is beautiful. Every day is beautiful. Every chapter, every season is beautiful. Absolutely. That's how I see life. Anyways. Yeah, Edmund says, Germany is beautiful, but the system is very depressing. The nature of Germany is quite beautiful. I mean, it's raining a lot, but this is why it is beautiful as well. Very green, very lush. But the Germans are totally demoralized and they lost their leader, their real leadership. For sure. They are totally on the wrong path. Bobby, in Egypt, Christians and Muslims get along way better. Yeah, it is due to ethnicity as well, though. As much as we want to deny this fact, it is a fact. It is due to those Egyptians being Egyptians, and then some are Muslims, some are Christians. They will get along better. Same with the Bosnian Muslims and Christians, etc., etc. And in Germany, Islam, the way that it appears, is something extremely foreign because we have a lot of mass migration over there. And people, they can't understand what is going on. Their countries are being essentially overrun by migrants. It's really factual. And then you have many people that are misbehaving, and like that, they are tainting the image of Islam in the eyes of the Germans, for sure. And that's why there is so much hatred and misunderstanding. And it's by design, for sure. If you look at Indonesia, for example, Indonesia accepted Islam through trading, and it was Chinese Muslims back then, I think an emperor or general or whatnot, that came over there, and they saw the beauty, the akhlaq of Islam, the beautiful mannerisms. And this is why they gave up their paganism and became Muslim, right? But by themselves, by motivation of themselves. Bosnia became Muslim as well under the Ottoman Empire, but they weren't flooded with mass migration. And that's why in Germany I don't have hopes for Islam ultimately. Of course, the Muslim population is growing, but it's predominantly foreigners. There's not so many reverts. It's very, very different if you present Islam to the people. You give dawah and then you leave, right? You give the message, and then the indigenous population is accepting Islam. That's totally different, completely different. But unfortunately, that's not what we see in Europe. Europe has been simply flooded by migrants, and plenty of them, unfortunately, really misbehave and give a bad image to Islam. Okay, anyways, guys, I'm already at it for 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm going to give you a warning, basically. I'm off in 10 minutes, roughly. So if you want to support now. In 10 minutes, I'm going to take off, inshallah. Thank you very much for your ongoing support, as always. Everybody that can donate, highly, highly appreciate it. And I really mean this. This is not just, hey, I'm just going to say it for the sake of saying it. I'm running this YouTube channel because of your support. Without the support, I wouldn't have the time. I cannot make the time for YouTube any longer because I'm in a period of my life where I really have to provide for my family here. It's important. And YouTube takes a lot of time. So it really lives through your support. That's what it is. And I always say, I don't give dawah. If it is undercover, indirect dawah, then so be it. So if you want to support my work, you can, of course, support it via Super Chats and via the links in the description box. Buymeacoffee.com works phenomenally well as well. I'm very happy with buymeacoffee.com. Okay, but anyways, I still didn't see anybody posting about Andrew Tate and the Tommy Robinson incidents. I think it was a Twitter post, an X post. I'm not too sure. Kindung says, that's right, Bobby. Alhamdulillah, Indonesian have struggles from invaded by Western almost 350 years. Yes, by Portuguese as well, right? That brings ideology 3G gold to glory and gospel. Yeah, I think the Portuguese predominantly. Bobby, you should definitely watch Imran Hossein videos. He has a great perspective in Islamic eschatology. What is your opinion on him? Honestly, man, listen, I always respect elders. That's just how it is. So I'm not going to speak about the guy in extent, right? But from what I heard about him, I watched a few videos before I reverted, especially. When it comes down to geopolitics, he's very pro-Russia, of course. And when it comes down to politics, for example, on the Balkan, he has absolutely no idea what he's talking about. He was speaking about my country, Northern Macedonia. No clue what he's talking about. Unbelievable. I want to do a reaction video on it, but then I just let it be because I was like, okay, let the old guy talk about it. But it's so far beyond anything that could be considered truthful. It's shocking. Anyways, that is politically speaking. So now when it comes down to the eschatology, when I did not revert to Islam, when I was still a Christian, and he was speaking about the relationships to the Orthodox Christians, etc., I found it quite pleasing. But then I looked into Islamic eschatology myself, and I simply couldn't find any proofs for his statements, for his claims, rather. So for me, it appears that he comes up with ultimately fictional stories about the end times, etc., that are not to be found in the Hadith, in the Quran. So that's basically it. And therefore I have to ask myself the question, what do you base it on? What do you base it on? Where does this information come from? Are you making it up? Right? And yeah, that's why. So his stories, I mean, they're epic and they sound very interesting and yeah, cool, but it is not based upon any hard evidence. Uruguay. So we have people tuning into the chat right now, I see. Ich habe doch schon 10.000 Mal Deutsch gesprochen und ich werde noch ein letztes Mal Deutsch sprechen. Yes, I can speak German. Mike Dutch, Portuguese. What's that? Dutch, Portuguese, etc., etc. Okay. Yeah, I know about the Portuguese. Dutch, maybe I heard about that too. I'm not too sure. Can I post a link? You should watch Tafsir al-Quran about the creation of the universe. Compare it to Christian version. Yeah, post a link, man. Why not? But I'm not going to do that today anymore because as I said, I'm going to tune out in roughly 10 minutes. And I tried watching the interview. It was on the Five Pillars channel. Dili Hussein, I think is his name. I'm not too sure. He interviewed him. And the guy, Imran Hussein, he was just calling everybody, what was it again? A buffoon or ignorant or something like that. Like everybody that was not accepting his position was basically ignorant and stupid, etc., etc. From his perspective, scholars who says, I think, or my opinion, and not Allah said or the Prophet said is no good. Yeah, obviously. That's what I'm saying. I don't see any evidence for his eschatological claims at all. Okay. Why does German sound like AH is speaking? Ja, because I spoke like that on purpose, man. Man kann auch sehr leise und liebevoll Deutsch sprechen. Denn dann klingt das nicht mehr wie der gute Adolf. Bobby, what is your perspective on democracy? Yeah, as a Islamic supremacist that I am. YouTube, I'm just joking. I, of course, do not subscribe to democracy. Democracy is ultimately a Greek ideology, a political ideology, and I simply see it as very, very stupid, ultimately. Osho said it best, believe it or not. I mean, you can think of him what you will. I don't find him to be a good role model or leader either, but he said it fantastically when it comes down to democracy. Wait a second, we want to play the clip. Okay, 1 second. Thai commercials. Here we go. Like this. Okay, let's rewind.
Because democracy basically means
He always pauses a lot because he's spiritual.
government by the people, of the people, for the people.
Yo.
But the people are retarded.
It's always cool, man. Every time I have to laugh. And he's absolutely right there, because this is really what it boils down to. You let the peasants vote ultimately. Of course, first and foremost, we have to establish that I don't believe that your vote counts in the first place, but let's assume it does somehow. Then you have the peasantry that is voting. How does that make sense? So during the early stages of America, it was only landowners that were able to vote, which makes somewhat sense, if you will. So why would the peasantry, the big masses, the dumbed down masses, vote? How do they know who the right leader for them is? Unfortunately, they don't. Unfortunately, the majority of people, I was an ideologue for a while when I was younger, and somewhat of an anarchist, if you will. And I'm not talking about anarchy in terms of we smash up the system and everything is just ruined. No, an ideological anarchist where everybody can do what they want, but it's a peaceful getting together and everybody's just so evolved and enlightened and life is just beautiful, progressing, right? That is not the reality of things. You will wake up sooner or later and you will realize that people, as he said correctly, are retarded. It's really the case. The majority is. And they need a strong leader. And therefore, a monarchy is definitely a way, way better choice than a democracy. 100%. And Thailand here was amazing under their monarchy. Now you see a lot of critique about the monarchy, and you see a huge push for democracy coming from the West, of course. Here in Thailand, nobody labeled it whatsoever. When we're talking about homosexuals, transgenders, etc., ladyboys they're called here. Of course, all of that is not good in the eyes of God or anything like that. But what I want to say is it was simply a byproduct of their society. It wasn't labeled as a political movement, the LGTV, etc., right? But now, since they have this push for democracy here, they have these pushes as well for those movements. And it goes hand in hand. This is what this westernization is truly about, right? This liberalization, etc., you name it. So democracy destroys countries. Absolutely. To give the peasantry this freedom, this perceived freedom of voting a politician, and ultimately all of those people, in Germany especially, what would they say? They would say, oh, well, It's like voting between cancer and AIDS. Those idiots up there. And then they are perceived as some idiots, some puppets, some marionettes. But all of this is just a game, man, to distract you ultimately. Right? It's just a facade. So the best way to lead people is a strong leader, which is truly a good person in the eyes of God. That's an ideal. And to have that is almost impossible in this day and age, and it's totally impossible in the West. Right? That's how I see it. So I'm not pro-democracy whatsoever. We have to protect our democracy and our Western values. Sure. The Thai king was creepy, though. Honestly, man, everybody loved him. Everybody loved him, and the country was amazing under him. Okay. Anyways, guys, 5 more minutes tops, and I'm tuning out. So if you want support now. Otherwise, I'm saying bye-bye. Bobby, chat with subscribers stream. You mean... Okay, do you mean I should create a stream next time where only subscribers can chat? Is that what you mean? Or should I do a private stream only for members? Let me know what you mean. Okay. Bali is traditional Hindus. Yeah, Indonesian. They're very different from India. Yeah, absolutely. There are huge theological differences in the Hinduism that is practiced in Bali, for sure. We are protein, brother. That question cannot be answered on YouTube. You don't really think I can talk about this here, do you? You want to get my channel deleted, man. Yeah, we speak about that in my Telegram group, though. So, head over there, for sure. No talk to subscribers. Okay, do you mean... I don't get it, man. Explain a bit more. Don't be so cryptic. So, talk to subscribers, do you mean... I should do video calls with subscribers on a live stream? Is that what you mean? Let me know. His son, we're still talking about the king. His son is still alive. Bobby, Germany is starting to fall, I guess. Yeah, ultimately, the West is modeling America, and America is falling right now. We see it live. And yeah, therefore, Germany will fall a bit later, maybe 10 years later. Video chat. We tried that before, but I need a different platform. I think we did it on, was it StreamYard? Potentially, I'm not too sure. But somehow my whole laptop setup just started crashing. It wasn't able to keep so many people online. So I want to really do it via Discord, and then inshallah maybe we can do it. Assalamu alaikum, brother Bobby. Wa alaikum assalam. Have you seen the video where Ben Shapiro said to a famous Australian Christian podcaster that Christianity is not polytheism, but a monotheistic religion? Yeah, I mean, he of course has to play the Christians, obviously, because they are his strongest supporters. He has a quote-unquote conservative platform, and the majority of the subscribers are conservative Christians. So of course he has to cater to them. He cannot show them the truth of what he really thinks. It's impossible. And that he hates them ultimately. Why is India and other South Asian countries so dirty compared to other Asian countries like Thailand, Malaysia, etc.? But see, Asia, Southeast Asia, Thailand, Malaysia, etc., they're Southeast Asian countries. But I really don't like classifying India as Asia. I mean, India has the most people living in the world. The majority of people on this world are basically Indians, which is kind of crazy, but it's the truth. So therefore, India itself, I would classify it as something entirely separate totally. I mean, even the Middle East, right? The Middle East technically falls under Asia. That's something that I learned recently. I'm a total numbnut when it comes down to geography. I never really paid attention in school, admittedly. But that being said, yeah, the Middle East falls under Asia, which for me just doesn't add up. It doesn't make sense. Because ethnically, we totally understand that Arabs are not Thai people, for example, right? Thai people, Chinese, Japanese and Koreans are very similar. The Thais and the Japanese, they are slightly different, of course, but nevertheless, they are still a broad group of people, right? Like the Europeans, for example. A Russian is different from a German, but nevertheless, it's a broad group of people, right? The same with Africans, for example, Western Africans, South Africans, etc., etc. It's a broad group of people, even though there are differences, of course. Congolese people, on average, they're very blocky, stocky, big heads. Senegalese are pretty tall on average now, right? And that's just how it is. But when it comes down to the ethnic homogeneity, if you will, in Asia, it doesn't really make sense. It really doesn't. The Middle East is extremely different from all the other classically seen Asian countries. And India is extremely different as well. So India, Sri Lanka, Bengal, Pakistan, right? That for me is a group in itself. And I think everybody would agree, to be totally honest. So it classified as a different section. Anyhow, that's just my perspective. My racist perspective here. Okay, anyways, guys, this is it. We've been at it for 2.5 hours now. I did some overtime. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you very much for the support today. Thank you very much for the, very, very big engagement, I have to say. The chat was booming. Thank you very much for that. It's always amazing to see that you guys get along or not. But at least you're very active. That's amazing to see. If you want to further support, guys, all the links are in the description box below. Definitely check them out if you can. It really helps my work over here. Without it, it is impossible. So thank you very much for that. Other than that, we're gonna have some videos coming up for sure this week, inshallah. I'm definitely more active now since I'm back in Thailand. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe button, etc., etc. if you haven't already. And as always, guys, let's put in our beautiful nasheed first and foremost. Yes, that's it. That's the vibes. That's what I want. And as always, may God bless you all. Much love and peace.
يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي يا نفس إن لم تظفري لا تجزعي وإلى مواعيد جود مولاك هرعي وإذا تأخر مطلب فلربما في ذلك التأخير كل المطمع فاستانسي بالمنع وارعي حقه إن الرضا وصف المنيب الألمع وإذا بدا من ناطق الوجدان ما يدعوك للياس الذميم الأشنع فاستيقظي من نومة الغفلات وليكن الرجاء لك مرتعا فيه ارتعي إن إن العطاء إمداده متنوعون إن العطاء إمداده متنوعون يا حسنه ذاك العطاء المتنوع وردوا على نهر الحياة وكلهم شربوا وكم في الركب من متضلع حاشا الكريم يردهم عطشا وقاد وردوا وأصل الجود من ذا المنبع أصل الجود من ذا المنبع يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته وامشي به يسعى معي يا رب يا رب لي ظن جميل وافر قدمته أمشي به يسعى معي كل الذي يرجون فضلك كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي كل الذي يرجون فضلك أمطروا حاشاك أن يبقى هشيما مربعي